Hi folks, thanks for joining me in this video. Today I'm going to be flying from Portland to Seattle, and I'm going to be inputting a flight plan. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. Now the flight plan I'm going to be using is called the HAWKZ FOUR Arrival, which is going to take us to Seattle, runway 16 right. So we're going to be starting here in Portland and flying here to Seattle. And when I zoom in, 16 right, that's the runway we're going to be arriving at in approximately 38 minutes after I get my flight plan entered. So we're going to start back here at the beginning, zoom in, and this is how I do it. I'm going to open up this map button here so we get this information box on the left side so you can follow along and see what I'm doing. First thing I do is I click on my starting airport, which is Portland. I make this my active heading. What this does, it shows my departure airport. So anybody who wants to look at my flight plan, if they want to copy it or see it, they can see which airport I left and which airport I'm heading to. So the first waypoint I'm going to be selecting, which is part of the standard instrument departure procedures, is river. So what happens here is when you depart 10 right or 10 left, you climb to 540 feet. At 540 feet, you're required to change your heading towards river. After river, we're going to be joining up on the HAWKZ FOUR. So first waypoint on the HAWKZ FOUR we got to go to is Cougar. Now at Cougar, you have to be 20,000 feet above sea level or greater. I'm going to be at 20,000 feet, and I'm going to be traveling between 270 and 290 knots airspeed. After Cougar, the next waypoint is Krieg. Again, you have to be over 20,000 feet. After Krieg is HAWKZ, which is right here. So we're going to be descending into HAWKZ from Krieg. So at HAWKZ you have to be above 12,000 feet, but your speed has to be exactly 270 knots. So what I do, after I pass Krieg, when I'm 6 minutes away from HAWKZ, and this is shown here, ETA to next, here at the bottom, when I'm 6 minutes from HAWKZ, I start my descent at 1,000 feet per minute, which puts me over HAWKZ at 14,000 feet and 270 knots. After HAWKZ, I can continue my 1,000 foot per minute descent towards Kofe. Kofe takes me over McCord Air Force Base. After Kofe is Brive. Now, when you cross Brive, you have to be between 10,000 and 11,000 feet. And your speed has to be exactly 250 knots. After Brive is Nets. At Nets. Okay, Nets, you have to be above 8,000 feet when you cross by there, and 230 knots exact. Next waypoint is K West. K West, you have to be above 7,000 feet. After which is Vachon. Vachon, I call it Vachon, it might be Vachan, I don't know, but I pronounce it Vachon. Vachon, you have to be exactly 6,000 feet and 210 knots. The waypoint after that is Rayu. You have to maintain an altitude of 5,000 feet or greater as you pass Rayu. Next waypoint is Saga. Let me try that again. Saga. Right here. Now, Saga, you have to be 3,200 feet, and your speed cannot be greater than 210 knots. So generally what you do is you fly past Rayu. You might extend up a bit depending on traffic, maintaining 5,000 feet to 210 knots. At some point, ATC is going to tell you to turn 070 heading, which is a right turn. You head to the right towards Saga. You might be turning to Saga here, you might be turning to Saga, you might be turning 070 up here. All depends on sequencing and spacing, but you're going to get a 070 right turn heading. You're going to descend. By this point here, I'm usually at about 190 knots. The next waypoint is HAWKZ. That's not HAWKZ. Let me zoom in a little. So HAWKZ is the next waypoint. And after HAWKZ is Finca. Now Finca is a very important waypoint. You're required to have a speed of 170 knots or greater up until Finca. Your altitude has to be 1,900 feet above sea level. You're going to be following the ILS anyways, so you should be at 1,900 feet. At Finca, your frequency is going to be changed to tower if everything's working correctly. And also, as well, after Finca, you're in control of your speed. You're going to fly your plane at whatever the required final approach landing speeds are for your aircraft. It's entirely up to you, but up until Finca, you have to be flying 170 knots or greater. And that is the HAWKZ FOUR Arrival flight plan from Portland. Number 10 runways, 10 right or 10 left, to Seattle 16 right. Now all northbound traffic follows this western corridor to the north. All southbound traffic from Seattle flies straight south at 164 heading to Helen's waypoint, which is right here. And then your heading would change to 180 to Qatar. And then from Qatar, you'll be going down to the battleground VOR, or waypoints. There's a waypoint here called Liquid. Anyways, when you get down here, you'll be either turning right or you'll be turning left, depending which ones are the active runways. And the reason you turn at Helen's around here is because there are mountains right here. And there's a lot of turbulence, so you don't want to be flying approach over these mountains. So you want to fly around these mountains, come south, and then when you're down about here, you're either going to go left or right, depending where the active runway is. Now you're going to think, okay, well, the planes are going to collide, you're crossing over. No, they're not, because aircrafts arriving at Portland are going to be at 6,000 feet, 210 knots. That's the requirement right here. And planes departing, you're going to be flying out here and turning. You're going to be at about 12,000 feet at that point. So there's going to be a 6,000 foot separation, so there's no concern. Also, when you're leaving Portland, if you're leaving to the west from runways 28 right or left, same thing, you're going to be flying out to about, where's Kelly? Kelly's here. So you'll be flying out to Kelly, and then you're going to be heading north towards Koga. I generally just aim for Krieg and continue north. And that's how the flight plans work. So I enjoy this flight plan. I've flown it hundreds and hundreds of times. The 16 right approach is my favorite approach. My second favorite approach is 28 right into Portland. It's a lot of fun, lots of turns, lots of banks. Great fun. Oh, one more thing I want to show you is what you can do is if you nudge your plane forward a little bit, just nudge it, it's going to bring up your ILS. Okay, let's move. Why is it not moving? There it is. So there's the ILS. You hold it down, and now you can select the ILS runway. You're locked in. So now your ILS 16 right Seattle's locked in. You're good to go. And that's how I create a flight plan. And thanks for watching my video. If you have any comments, please write them below. And if you liked it, please click on the like. Much appreciated. Thank you, and have a good day. All right, bye-bye.